You ever find yourself tapping your phone screen a certain way? You know, for good luck? It's funny, right? Well, today, we're going to dive into why those ancient, old-school superstitions are not just surviving, but actually thriving in one of the most modern places imaginable, the world of online gambling.
I mean, think about it. The internet is supposed to be all about cold, hard logic, right? Just code and algorithms. But what happens when that super logical world slams right into something totally human and, well, illogical, like the belief in luck? That's the fascinating collision we're going to unpack right now.
Okay, so to really get what's going on online, we've got to take a step back and look at the real world first. Because let's be honest, for as long as people have been playing games of chance, we've been coming up with rituals to try and tip the odds in our favor.
Oh, you've totally seen this, right? The guy at the poker table who absolutely will not let anyone touch his chips? Or maybe it's that friend who has to wear their specific, worn-out, lucky t-shirt. It's all about one thing, trying to get a little bit of control in a situation that is, by its very nature, totally random. These little physical rituals, they give us that feeling of being in the driver's seat.
But that brings up a really big question. How does any of that work when you move online? I mean, you can't physically touch the game. There are no dice to blow on, no felt to tap. So how can you possibly feel like you're influencing it? You'd think superstition would just poof, vanish online. But nope, it didn't disappear. It just shapeshifted.
So how exactly did it change? Well, it turns out that our human need for these little rituals is so powerful, we just found totally new ways to do them online. And you can bet the online platforms themselves have taken notice.
And what's really wild is how directly these old physical habits have been translated into the digital world. So instead of, say, clutching a rabbit's foot, maybe now you tap the spin button twice. Instead of looking for a lucky table, you'll only play a game with a certain theme that you feel is hot right now. The action is different, but the reason behind it, exactly the same.
And here's the kicker. This isn't just players figuring this stuff out on their own. Oh no. The platforms themselves are often built specifically to make room for, and sometimes even encourage, these new digital rituals. This is absolutely a deliberate design choice. Which brings us right to this psychology behind how these online games are designed. They're literally engineered to give us back that feeling of control that kind of disappears when you go from a physical casino to just a screen.
So how do they pull it off? They do it with things we can call digital control surfaces. Now, these are just little features that have zero, and I mean zero, effect on the random outcome of the game. But they give you, the player, small choices that feel meaningful. You know, things like picking your table color, customizing your avatar, or even just hitting that quick spin button. Each little click gives you a tiny hit of feeling like you're in charge.
There's actually a psychological term for this. It's called the illusion of control. And all those little satisfying features we just talked about, they're designed to scratch the exact same psychological itch that a physical Lucky Charm does. They just make us feel more involved, more invested, and deep down, a little more in control of what happens next, even when our logical brain knows it's all completely random.
Okay, but here's where things get really tricky for the companies that run these sites. They have to perform this incredible balancing act. They're walking a super fine line between feeding our very human need for superstition and proving to everyone that their games are 100% fair.
See, on one hand, they want to give you a personal experience that makes you feel lucky, that lets you feel in control. But on the other hand, you've got regulators who demand that they prove every single spin, every single card dealt, comes from a certified random number generator, an RNG. They have to show the paperwork, the third-party audits, all proving that nothing is influencing the game except pure mathematical chance.
So it really is this careful dance. They'll let you pick the color of your poker table, something that feels personal and important, while at the same time, they're publishing these complex reports that prove the actual outcome of the game is totally random and untouchable.
All right, so let's tie this all together. What does all this mean for us, the people interacting with these platforms? Well, it really just means we need to recognize that our old, ancient habits haven't gone anywhere. They're still right here with us. They've just put on a new digital costume.
There's this phrase I love for this, digital echoes. Think about it. That quick spin button or that custom avatar you picked, that's not just a feature. It's the 21st century version of a rabbit's foot. It's the modern lucky coin. It's a digital echo of a deeply, deeply human need to feel like we can find some order, some influence when we're staring right into the face of pure chaos.
So, what's the big takeaway here? It's pretty simple, really. Our old superstitions don't die.
They just adapt to new technology. And a lot of the time, that adaptation is helped along by intentional design features that give us a comforting but ultimately false illusion of control.
And that kind of leaves us with one last question to chew on. This whole idea, it isn't just about gambling, is it? I mean, think about your own digital life. Do you have a specific ritual for posting on social media for more likes? A certain way you refresh your inbox? What are the digital rabbit's feet in your life? It's pretty fascinating when you stop to think about it, how these ancient instincts are still shaping our super modern world.